Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 276 of our BU 365-day challenge to do one thing every day that improves us. Now, for the next 20 days or so, I decided I'm going to cover paradoxes. A paradox is, and I'm going to grab my magnifying glass and read you the definition because I never really thought about paradoxes much before. But you know those sayings that you see online that you say, oh, and you think about it a little bit? Often those are paradoxes. A paradox is a seemingly absurd or self-contradictory statement or proposition that when investigated or explained may prove to be well-founded or even true. So a situation, a person, or a thing that combines contradictory features or qualities is considered a paradox. So today we're going to talk about one, and since I have some huge projects that I need to have done in the next 30 days, I decided we're going to cover, I found a list, and I wrote this down at the beginning of the year because I thought they were super interesting, of 20 paradoxes. And of course, there's literally probably an infinite number of paradoxes that we could find. But I just grabbed 20 of the most common ones, and we'll talk about them. And our action item today, and probably for the next 20 days, is going to be to think about each paradox and decide what it means to you. Is it true in your life or is it not? I'm going to admit that the one I'm sharing today, the first one I'm sharing, is and has been absolutely positively true in my life. And I suppose as we're going about the month, we'll talk about oxymorons too, because I find different things in language really fascinating and what things mean, because it's a great way to notice and see that what things mean to you probably means something different to someone else. I think that we know that intuitively, but we so often forget it on a conscious level that happiness to you is different than happiness to me. We all want to feel happy, but how that shows up in our life, how we experience that, is different for each and every one of us. And it's true of everything else in life. Success, boredom, freedom, adventure, everything. Any word that exists, right, we all kind of understand the meaning of the word, but how we each experience that is different. And so I like to explore things like idioms for my Supersize Your Business group. And we talk about what things mean, where they come from, and how we can apply them to building and growing our business. And for our annual challenge this year, we're focusing on doing one thing every day that improves us. And so understanding ourselves and what things mean to us is one way of continually improving ourselves. So today's paradox is, the more you hate a trait in someone else, the more likely you are avoiding it in yourself. To me, often the things that we notice are a reflection of something that's going on inside of us that we don't want to admit is a part of us. Now, guess what? We are complex human beings, each and every one of us, some more than others, but pretty much all of us as humans are complex, contradictory beings, right? And so this one didn't take me long to think of an example and a story in my own life to come up with, because yeah, the area of judgment is the one that I want to talk about, because I, in my younger days, was extremely, and not, worse than the worst person in the world, but I was very judgmental, very critical, very give you feedback, in my opinion, when I was younger. And following my sudden cardiac arrest, when I woke up from the coma, all of a sudden, anything judgmental was like nails on the chalkboard to me. When I heard somebody, or when I was thinking judgmental thoughts, it was like somebody slapped me in the face to wake me up to realize that I was acting in an inappropriate, judgmental way toward other people, or that someone else was, and it just irritated me so much, because I needed to see that in the past, before my sudden cardiac arrest, I was kind of an ass, and judging things in other people that were different than me, that I really didn't, as a human being, and all of us don't have any right to judge other people, right? It's not up to us to decide what's right or wrong for other people. It's only right for us to decide what's right or wrong for us. So judgment just really started to be like in my face. And I realized how true this particular paradox is for me with respect to judgment. And I'm sure it's true for me with respect to other things too. And so today, as I go about my day, I'm going to make sure that I'm noticing what I'm noticing, right? What things am I paying attention to and noticing? I hope I'm noticing love and excitement and adventure and creativity and energy, because those are the things I want to have in my life. But chances are I will be noticing people's tone of voice, if they criticize me, if they give me a hard time, if they are dissatisfied or displeased with me. Because as humans, I find we notice the negative things a lot more than the positive things. Remember, in corporate America and in my businesses and in my life, and I've experienced this, and I read it and studied it, when it comes to giving people feedback, people will hear and remember the negative feedback you give them more and much longer and more intensely than when you give them positive feedback. That's why I always say praise in public, criticize, judge, give negative feedback or corrective actions in private. Because if you ever criticize somebody in front of other people, they will not like you for it. They will not love you for it. They will be embarrassed, frustrated, and it takes a lot to recover from situations like that. So our paradox today: the more I hate a trait that I'm noticing or in someone else, chances are the more I have that trait in myself. So today, go about your day and notice what's really irritating you and spend a little time thinking about, is it because I'm afraid that I'm going to exhibit that trait, or because I do exhibit that trait and that it comes naturally? So that's our first paradox. We'll cover about 20 of these so I can continue to knock out some other projects I've got going. I think November, I haven't decided exactly what we're going to do in November and December, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to improve us every day, but it's going to be little ways that we can incorporate into our everyday life that can improve us in ways. That's why I like doing the paradox for the next 20 days. It shows us that we don't have to go out of our way to make grandiose changes to actually become a better version of ourselves and to learn more about ourselves. We can do little things every day, and they'll have a huge compound effect by the end of the year. All right, any questions, hit me up. If there is a paradox you love and want me to discuss, let's discuss it. Share in the comments below, just ask. Otherwise, like I said, I just grabbed a list off probably got it off the internet last year or the beginning of this year. Heck, knowing me, I could have been carrying it around for a few years. I tend to do that. But let me know, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Think about this one. It's an interesting one. And we can often see things in other people more clearly than we can see them in ourselves. But when we see things in other people, we need to look in the mirror and reflect on and say, why am I noticing that? Why is it bothering me? And the more it's bothering me, chances are the more I'm denying that I have that trait, or that I'm pushing it down and stuffing it inside so that I don't exhibit it. All right. Catch you tomorrow. Bye.